Hey guys, Nevers here with the Week 1 Team Builder for the PCL. We are facing off against last season's champ right off the bat, Diet Tight, and the New Britain Rock Ruff. His team is scary good, and I've got my work cut out for me. He's got Halucha, which is one of the nastiest sweepers in the game. He's got Galarian Wheezing to set terrain for it. Oh dear. I want to keep that whole team. Um, he's got his Dynamax Captain Obstagoon, which is just a beast. Um, I think he's also going to be bringing Rhyperior, Jellicent, Gudra. These are some really good Pokemon that I have to watch out for. He's also got Rotomo, Crustle, Wishy Washy, and Escavalier, or Escavalier, as cool people pronounce it. And yeah, this is a tricky team. It's got a butt ton of immunities, and I have to really play around that very well if I want to win. So this is the team that I think he'll probably be bringing. I think for sure he's going to bring these top three. Let's start off with Halucha. Halucha is going to be using a Misty Seed, I imagine, to take advantage of the Misty terrain set by Wheezing in order to get an Unburden boost. So that means its speed is going to be God tier, and I'm going to have a really hard time dealing with it. Um, yeah, it's probably going to be bringing Close Combat and Thunder Punch. Um, Close Combat for Stab, Thunder Punch for Gyarados, and Throat Chop for Mew. Swords Dance to get a nice attack boost. If this thing gets like two Swords Dances off, I'm pretty much done. There's no way I win then. So I really have to protect myself against it. I think he's also going to be bringing. Well, he's going to be bringing Wheezing to set the terrain. Wheezing is going to be a bit of a wild card because I don't know what kind of Wheezing or what moves he's going to have on it. Dazzling Gleam puts in work against Passimian and Mandibuzz. Thunderbolt for Mandibuzz again. Gyarados and Vaporeon. I'm thinking Fire Blast just so it has a way of dealing with Steelix, which is, it's one of those pokes that can come in against it. And it is immune to Thunderbolt and resist Dazzling Gleam pretty well. It doesn't want to take a Fire Blast, however. And I think it's going to be a Toxic Spiker rather than a Defogger, I think. But it might have Defog instead. I'm also a bit concerned about it bringing Dark Pulse because Dark Pulse would be a great way of dealing with Mew or God, what's the other one? Meowstic. Um, Next up on this list is Rhyperior. I think he's gonna be bringing him as a stealth rocker. He's probably going to be invested in Spadef, but I could see that being flopped into defense, and hopefully it will be. But I imagine he'll put it all in Spadef. Stone or Edgequake hits just about everything on my team, super effectively. Uh, so that's pretty nasty. He's probably bringing it as a stealth rocker and Thunder Punch again. Like I think everything's pretty much gonna have Thunder Punch or Thunderbolt. So I'm gonna have a very hard time with the Gyarados. But we'll get into that later. Jellicent is a really scary Pokemon. This thing, I don't think it's gonna be a max def Jellicent. I think he's gonna be splitting it between defense and special defense. He's probably going to have Scald because Scald does a lot of good stuff to a lot of my team. Giga Drain. Maybe Giga Drain. Maybe not now that I think about it. Yeah, I think he'd probably be more likely to bring something else than Giga Drain. Maybe, God, what's that move? Strength Sap. I just learned the other day that it can get it, and that is the nastiest move in the game right now because it basically heals you to 100 half the time. It's really annoying. I think he'll synergize with the toxic spikes and his scald using hex, but he might also have shadow ball, and he's probably gonna have recovery as well. This thing's gonna be really tricky to deal with. And last up, I think he's gonna bring Gudra as a sap sipper to cover his grass weaknesses from the other two. I think he'll be running a sort of physical attacker in order to take advantage of the sap sipper. He might be banded, he might be assault vest. I don't know which one's coming out, but this thing is just going to be a pretty beefy tank. I don't think he invests in speed at all either. But this thing can do a lot of damage, and it can take a lot of damage too. So I got to be really scared about that. I actually don't know. Maybe he won't be Draco, but maybe Outrage instead. Because I don't have a fairy switch in. That's a thing. Let's see. What else do you got? As for the things you don't see here, Rotom is another decent poke. He's got a lot of electric type moves as it is, so I don't know if he's going to need a dedicated electric type. And Rotom, I mean, it could kind of be okay. I don't think I'd want to switch Steelix into it. So I could definitely see Rotom coming as a pivot. Escavalier could be pretty strong as well. I don't see who he'd drop for it, but it's something I gotta watch out for. I don't see Wishy Washy coming, but it could. I should probably, take some time to look into what it can do. But I don't see him using it as long as he has Jellicent, because Jellicent is just that much better. And I mean, I guess my premier electric type is also a fire type, so maybe. But yeah. And Crustle can come. It can maybe put in some work, but again, I just see him bringing this team. I think it's a pretty solid team against me. I probably don't have these EV spreads right. Maybe he brings in other sets as well. I'm a little bit scared about a Rhyperior with weakness policy and God, what's it called? Rock Polish. That's a set I'm a little bit afraid of, but I think we'll do just fine against this team or something similar to it. So let's go into my team. So here's my team. Actually, first of all, I just want to say a few things. His team is amazing. It's got a lot of synergy between its parts. These three have some good synergies together. These three also have great synergy together. It's gonna be hard to target him with something that is going to hit him super effectively. He could just as easily and very predictably switch into something that will be resistant to it. So like if I have let's say I've got my Rotom in against Jellicent, he's not going to stay in and take a Thunderbolt or something. He's going to switch into his Rhyperior, which pretty much fully walls Rotom. And if I have some sort of grass type in, like let's say I bring my Roselia, he's just going to switch into Gudra and just destroy Roselia. Although this isn't a very good moveset against that, so maybe not. Although I don't know. It probably doesn't look like I'm going to bring Roselia. So there is one little hiccup in his team that I'm hoping to exploit, and that is the this Misty Surge ability on Weezing. So his other ability is Levitate, which means he would normally be immune to ground types, but this time he won't be, which means he can use this guy to clean up toxic spikes. This is a tangent. This has nothing to do with the lack of synergy that I was talking about a few seconds ago. The issue is that this Misty Surge, I wish it would stop that. I've got to stop clicking. This Misty Surge will set up Misty Terrain, but that'll prevent the Flame Orb from going off. And also, because I have Gyarados on my team, I might actually see a Defiant version of Obstagoon instead, which would be very beneficial to me, I think. Because Flame Orb, well, first of all, he won't be running Facade. He'll probably, he might still run it. But if he doesn't go the Guts Flame Orb route, he's actually going to be a lot weaker against me. Because I'm definitely not bringing anything to boost his Defiant, or to give him a Defiant boost. So that's one asymmetry. And the other asymmetry is that these two Pokemon are his only defoggers, and they're both weak to Psychic, and they are both, well, first of all, Hawlucha is never going to be used as a defogger. I don't ever think that's going to happen. He's too valuable with his other moves. Thunder Punch, Close Combat, Throat Chop, Brave Bird, but I don't see it here. He probably won't bring Brave Bird, but he might. So I don't see him using Defog. Weezing as a defogger is... It's not a great defogger because it removes his Misty Terrain in this generation. And also, he might be a Toxic Spiker himself, and he might just be relying on Weezing to sort of come in and use his poison typing to soak up any toxic spikes that I drop down. So I don't think he's going to be running Defog, which means my goal is going to be to get Hazards up and make him pay for switching out into an immunity instead of, just taking whatever attack I'm going to throw at him. So no matter what, I want to put myself in a position where no matter what, every time I'm attacking, I'm doing damage. Because if I don't have Hazards up, he can just, switch all day and probably avoid a great deal of damage with his many immunities. So that is my key to victory in this battle here. So this is the team I have for week 1. First up, we have Mew. I am using this thing as a bulky but capable hazard setter. I'm giving him both Spikes and Stealth Rocks. Ideally, somehow I get him in for free against Weezing, and I rock up or spike up, and hopefully force him out with the threat of using Psychic. So that's my goal for Mew. He's got Psychic for Weezing, and he's got Energy Ball for Rhyperior and Jellicent, and a little bit of special attack investment, but for the most part, it's all in bulk, and he's got just enough speed to outspeed a, Obstagoon. So next up, we've got Rotom Heat. This thing is entirely invested in special attack. He's modest, max special attack, a little bit of speed, just in case I'm up against a Rotom Mow that doesn't have any speed investment. I can outspeed him just a bit, and max HP. So his job is basically going to be to hit really hard with Overheat, Thunderbolt, or Shadow Ball. He's not going to be Volt Switching. And you know what? Maybe I do want Volt Switch on him. Now that I think about it. Because if I can get Rhyperior out of the way, maybe. Choice Spec, I don't see myself ever using Trick on anything. Maybe against Hawlucha. I'd probably rather Thunderbolt for damage, though. So I might switch that to Volt Switch. Oh well. I can always do that later. So this thing, basically, it can't quite 2-hit KO Rhyperior with a Shadow Ball, especially if it's Spadef invested. But if it is not Spadef invested, And maybe if I have a layer of spikes up, I think I can 2-hit KO with Shadow Ball. And my biggest concern about Rotom Heat is that it's going to invite in Rhyperior for him to get up a free set of rocks. So hopefully I'll be able to just double Shadow Ball and kill him before he can get rocks up. The downside is the Shadow Ball might invite in Obstagoon for free, because I believe he's immune to it. He definitely resists it, if he's not immune to it, though. Overheat is for Escavalier if it comes. I probably won't use it otherwise. Maybe against Wheezing. It'll do a decent amount of damage, but for the most part, it's going to be Shadow Bolt, Thunderbolt, Trick. I don't even know which one I'd rather use against Wheezing now that I think about it. Maybe, or not Wheezing, Jellicent. Because Shadow Ball, he might switch to Rhyperior thinking a Thunderbolt's coming, or a Volt Switch is coming, and Shadow Ball is probably the safe middle ground. So maybe I'll switch this for Thunder. I don't know. I can't bring Status because he has Wheezing, though, so no Will-O-Wisp or Thunder Wave there. Next up, we have our Dynamax captain, Steelix. My strategy is to run a tanky but still very offensive version. Its goal is to come in on Obstagoon, hopefully on a Thunder Punch, and fully counter it by just being a beast defensively. Got a Rocky Helmet on it to get some chip on it. So if Obstagoon does hit me as I come in, at least I'm doing some damage to it. And I could probably survive anything it's going to throw at me, because this thing has just so much defense. Body Press is... That thing can one-hit KO pretty much any Obstagoon build. Dragon Tail. This thing is to take advantage of the hazards I'm hopefully going to set up. It's going to be, after I'm done Dynamaxing, I can, maybe take a few people out with it, rack up some hazard damage. It's also there for dealing with Goodra if I have to. Thunderfang is for Jellicent, and, if I'm Dynamaxed, I can also set Electric Terrain, which might mess with his Misty Terrain, but probably not. And lastly, I've got Stealth Rock. This is a second opportunity I'll have to get up Stealth Rocks. Sorry about that. I've been talking too much. So that's the second opportunity I'll have to get up Stealth Rocks. It'll also give me Max Guard when I'm Dynamaxed, so I can stall out a turn of my opponent's Dynamax Pokemon. Sheer Force. I think Sheer Force only helps Thunderfang, but I kind of need it to help Thunderfang, and I don't see myself dying in one hit to anything, so I don't see the need for a Sturdy. Next up, we've got a Defiant Passimian with Choice Scarf. This thing is a bit of speed control, but it's mostly there as a secondary counter to Obstagoon. U-turn does massive damage to it. Close combat could probably kill it. This speed is set to just barely be enough to outspeed... what's his name? Why is this guy level 100? Oh well. This thing is just barely fast enough to outspeed Obstagoon. The rest is in attack and HP. I'm thinking about using this as my lead. So I'll probably either U-turn or knockoff turn 1 for free. Well, it's free U-turn. I don't know about free knockoff. But knockoff can help against Jellicent if he's running like leftovers. Close combat can OHKO Obstagoon, as I said. U-turn gives me momentum. And last but not least, we have Quick Attack. This is just, for some guaranteed chip damage against Hawlucha. It's a sort of desperation damage move. So hopefully we won't have to use it. And I do lose Iron Head, because that's what I originally wanted on this thing. But quick Attack's good. I'm a little bit weaker to Crustle if I don't have Iron Head, but I think I'll be fine. Next up, we got Meowstick. Meowstick is... Okay, so I picked this thing so it would have Prankster, and it doesn't get Prankster in this generation because the hidden ability hasn't been released yet. I did not know that when I picked it, but I'm still going to try to use it as an Infiltrator, which is pretty good. It's good to have Infiltrator because, subs are pretty nasty. Someone could run like a sub-toxic protect build and really give me a bad day with it. I've got Psyshock for hitting Hawlucha because he is probably going to be using a Misty Terrain Seed that boosts his special defense. So I need to hit it along its defense, and Psyshock is the way to do that. Energy Ball, for the same reason I have it on Mew, deals with Rhyperior and Jellicent pretty well. Reflect. Maybe I want a different move here, but I do like having Reflect. It's a decent utility move. I probably won't use it unless Hawlucha's already dead, and I just need maybe the last Pokemon he has really beefy attack, so I can sort of protect myself with Reflect and Thunder Wave to slow other things down, so that maybe one of these other pokes I have can outspeed it. It's probably, or maybe I get lucky and actually get a full para, but that'll never happen. Heavy duty boots to guarantee this thing has all the HP in the world when it comes in, because this is my last contingency for Hawlucha. It's my first contingency for Hawlucha. Passimian's the last one with the quick attack, but the idea is this thing can take a +2 throat chop from Hawlucha, or Brave Bird, for that matter. And with these defenses and HP, he can just fire off a Psyshock and kill it. And last up, we've got Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz is rocking the Rocky helmet as well as Steelix. I'm 90%, 99% sure we're allowed to bring 2 copies of the same item, but no one's told me otherwise, and I haven't seen any rules stating that, and it's not against Smogon, so it seems to be valid for me. Actually, do I want Overcoat? Yeah, I want Overcoat. It's got U-Turn for momentum. It's another slow Pokemon, so I can get in whatever I want to get in for free here. It's got Foul Play, just, to take out any strong attackers. Does a decent bit of damage to Lucha. Toxic for, stall damage, even though it's not the best stall format, simply because we have a 20-minute timer. But Toxic Roosts can be used in emergencies, just to get some damage on certain things. And the Mandibuzz is basically my go-to pivot. If I want to get something else in, but I don't want it to take damage, Mandibuzz is the one I'm going with. Why do I have attack? Oh, because U-turn. I'm actually a little bit at work, because I think I'll be bringing this in against Jellicent to take any Ghost-type moves and to not care about any Scald Burns or anything. But I'm thinking maybe I want to drop the attack, because I'm not trying to do damage with U-turn. Foul Play doesn't use my attack, and I'm a little bit concerned about Strength Sap, so maybe I should have gone with a adamant, not adamant, modest. Not modest. Bold. Yes, bold. That's the one. But I won't be, so oh well. Whew. I've done way too much talking and I still have to do the battle later. So I opted not to bring Gyarados to this battle. He had just a bit too many Pokemon on his team that can one-hit KO it with a Thunder Punch or a Thunderbolt. So I don't think it's a good idea to bring Gyarados this week. But even though he's going to be on the bench, I think he's still going to be playing the crucial role against Obstagoon, because he's going to sort of force it to maybe run Defiant instead of Life or Flame Orb and Guts. And another thing is I'm hoping that because I have Gyarados on my squad but not my team, I'm hoping that he does bring Thunder Punch, and he's gonna try to use Thunder Punch so I can bring in Steelix for free. So, like, if I make that play, that'll be my play of the game that I'm hoping to make. I doubt it'll happen because I never get that lucky with my predictions. But if it does, I'm gonna be so happy. So to recap, my strategy is to get hazards up as quickly as possible, stealth rock, as many layers of spikes as I can manage, and to just put myself in the position where either my opponent chooses to take a super effective move against me or switch to as an immunity and get some chip damage from the hazard. So either way, I'm doing damage, and that's good. I've got multiple counters to his big threats in Halucha and Obstagoon, and I've got some immunities of my own that I can use. It's gonna be a tough match. It's gonna be a really tough opponent. So wish me luck. The video of the battle, which I am hoping to do later today, is going to go live on the 11th. I don't know what time of day it is, but I hope to see you guys then. And let's hope I go 1-0 this week. I'll see you guys later.